Don't Move, directed by Adam Schindler and Brian Netto, is a high-concept horror thriller that dives deep into the terrifying scenario of survival under extreme physical and psychological constraints. Starring Kelsey S. Bill as the grief-stricken Iris and Finn Wittrock as the menacing antagonist Richard, the film presents a nerve-wracking tale of life and death, with themes of grief, survival, and resilience. The movie balances suspenseful thrills with emotional undertones. Plot overview: Iris is introduced as a grieving mother, lost in the despair of losing her young son. The forest where she contemplates ending her life is almost a character in itself, symbolizing both isolation and the unpredictability of nature. The mood quickly shifts when Iris encounters Richard, a man whose initial friendly demeanor soon turns chilling. Richard's injection of a paralytic agent into Iris sets the clock ticking, creating a palpable tension throughout the film. The gradual onset of paralysis forces Iris to think and act quickly, navigating the dense and unforgiving forest to escape her pursuer. Each decision becomes a matter of survival, blending physical challenges with emotional and psychological endurance. Thematic depth at its core, Don't Move is not just a horror thriller but a deeply introspective film about overcoming grief and despair. Iris's physical paralysis mirrors the emotional stagnation caused by her trauma, and her fight for survival becomes a metaphorical journey toward reclaiming her life. Themes explored include 1. Grief and healing. Iris's initial hopelessness evolves into a will to live as she confronts Richard, an external representation of her internal demons. 2. Human resilience. The movie showcases the extraordinary lengths people can go to when faced with life or death situations. 3. Isolation. The forest serves as a backdrop for Iris's physical and emotional battles, amplifying the loneliness and danger she faces. Character performances. 1. Kelsey S. Bill as Iris Sassbill delivers a layered performance, transitioning from a broken and vulnerable woman to a determined survivor. Her physical acting, especially as the paralysis sets in, is remarkable. The audience feels every ounce of her struggle, from her initial panic to her eventual resourcefulness. 2. Finn Wittrock as Richard. Wittrock's portrayal of Richard is chilling. His calm, almost methodical demeanor contrasts sharply with the brutality of his actions, making him a memorable villain. His psychological manipulation and ability to instill fear without overt aggression amplify the tension. Direction and cinematic technique. Wes Adam Schindler and Brian Netto craft a film that thrives on simplicity. The confined setting of the forest and the limited number of characters heighten the claustrophobic tension. The director skillfully builds suspense through clever pacing and an ever-present sense of dread. Cinematography use of natural lighting and close-ups emphasizes Iris's vulnerability, while the camera lingers on the oppressive environment. The forest is both a place of hiding and a trap, its unpredictability mirroring Iris's mental state. Sound design. Minimalistic sound design enhances the terror. The rustling leaves, distant animal calls, and Richard's slow, deliberate movements add to the tension. The score swells at pivotal moments but remains understated, never overshadowing the story. Strengths of the film: intense pacing. From the moment Iris is injected with the paralytic, the movie keeps the audience on edge. Emotional core. Beyond the thrills, the movie explores Iris's grief and transformation, adding depth to the story. Performances. Both Bill and Wittrock deliver standout performances, elevating the film beyond a typical survival thriller. Creative premise. The gradual paralysis is a unique concept that adds a ticking clock to the narrative, increasing suspense. Weakness. While Don't Move has its strengths, certain aspects hold it back. 1. Predictable moments. Some sequences follow familiar survival horror tropes, which may feel repetitive to seasoned viewers of the genre. 2. Dialogue. A few lines feel forced or overly dramatic, detracting from the otherwise realistic tone. 3. Pacing issues. While most of the movie is tightly paced, some moments in the second act drag, slightly diminishing the urgency. Critical reception. Movie has received mixed to positive reviews. Empire Magazine 3/5 praised the suspense but critiqued its lack of lasting impact. The Guardian highlighted the strong premise and performances while pointing out occasional implausibilities. Audience reaction. Many viewers have praised the emotional depth and unique premise, with some calling it one of the year's most intense thrillers. Final thoughts. Don't Move is a gripping and thought-provoking horror thriller that effectively blends emotional storytelling with edge-of-your-seat suspense. While it doesn't reinvent the genre, it stands out for its unique premise, strong performances, and exploration of profound themes. Recommendation. This film is a must-watch for fans of survival thrillers and emotionally charged horror. Prepare for an intense, thought-provoking journey that stays with you long after the credits roll. Rating. For Phipps runtime, 90 minutes. Available on Netflix.